Hello and welcome back into Historic Hicks Field for tonight's matchup between the Greenbrier Knights and the Edenton Steamers. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And here's your starting lineups for the Greenbrier Knights. Leading off batting first at second base is Max Lucas. Over batting second out in center field is Quincy Scipio. Batting third out in left field is Luke Waters. Over at first base, hitting cleanup, Dylan Bowman. Catching for the Knights, batting fifth, Warren Bailey. Over at third is Andre Daltrey. Out and right is Bert Hahn. Over at short is Dominic Proctor. Batting ninth and being the designated hitter tonight is Andy Choi. Bryce Stevens out on the mound for Edenton, making his second start of the season as the Steamers starting to develop that rotation with Stevens following Blake Gibson's start for the second consecutive time. Stevens pitched 4 innings, allowed a pair of runs, and struck out 7 in his only start of the young season against the Boone Bigfoots right here at Historic Hicks Field. The Steamers have found some early success here at Historic Hicks Field. A pair of comeback wins over the weekend, a 2-0 start, and a 3-1 overall record. The Steamers sit at 1-1 in Premier Collegiate League play, while the Greenbrier Knights 0-1 after falling to Virginia Beach last night, 8-3. The first matchup between these two teams this season, the Steamers went 7-8 against Greenbrier last year. 13 of those games came right here at Historic Hicks Field, so it's certainly a matchup in a venue that the Knights are familiar with. Max Lucas will lead things off as Stevens approaches the bump. The Steamers looking for a big outing of Stevens tonight after having to use 5 pitchers in the loss in Tarboro. Stevens is set, and the first pitch of the night is outside for a ball, 1-0. Bryce Stevens out of Enterprise State Community College just wrapped up his freshman season. So that one is fouled straight back, 1-1. Stevens pitched in 7 games at Enterprise State and an ERA just above 7.5. Pitched just over 19 innings. A two-way guy for the Steamers. Has played some second base as well. Here's the 1-1. That one's up high, 2-1 the count. Stevens showed the ability to go deep into games, which, as mentioned, is what the Steamers may need tonight. He went 8 innings back in a game in March for Enterprise State. That one is cut on a miss from Lucas. 2-2 the count. Lucas only played in 13 games this spring for Panola College. He hit .216 in those games. Here's the 2-2. That's up high. Full count for Lucas. Last night, Lucas had a single. He struck out and grounded out in his 3 at-bats against Virginia Beach. The lefty waits. Here's the pitch. That one's outside for a ball, and it's the first walk of the night for the Steamers. And Lucas is aboard. The Steamers walked 11 hitters last night in Tarboro, and trying to avoid the same fate here tonight back at home. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Quincy Scipio, batting second tonight for the Knights, and Stevens will go from the stretch. Takes a peek over at Lucas. Here's the pitch. The bunt is shown. He missed it, and the count moves to 0-1. Lucas got a pretty lengthy lead over there at first. And moving in on the infield grass from third base is Chris Morris. Here's the 0-1. He shows bunt again and fouls it back again. 0-2 the count. Lucas over at first didn't steal a base this spring at Panola College, but he's been quite bold with his leads here in the second bat of the game. We'll see if Scipio shows bunt, down 0-2 in the count, and Stevens will check on Lucas. He's back in head first. Scipio played at Camp Community College this spring, played in 51 games, hit .266. As they check in again, and they got him! Bryce Stevens picks off Max Lucas at first. Wow, we saw Blake Gibson try about 12 pickoff attempts on the same base runner last night. Didn't get any of them, and Bryce Stevens, a big play for the first out here in the inning. Still an 0-2 count to Scipio. Nobody on. Here's the pitch from Stevens. Up near his head, he took it. 1-2 the count. Leadoff walk's never a pitcher's friend, but when you can pick him off and make it act like it never happened, that's big. 1-2 is chopped over towards third. Morris moves in quickly, picks it up, throw to first is a bit high. Abbott comes off the bag. Looked like Scipio beat it out regardless. It's an infield single for Quincy Scipio, and a runner back at first for the Knights. That'll bring up Luke Waters out in left field tonight for the Knights. Stevens takes a peek over at Scipio. A much shorter lead than Lucas. Here's the first pitch. That one's cut on and missed, 0-1. Waters went 1 for 2 last night against Virginia Beach. Had a double and a strikeout. Here's the 0-1. Runners off and going. It's in the dirt. Kermo drops it. And that's a stolen base for Quincy Scipio. Scipio stole 35 bags and 40 attempts this spring at Camp Community College, so it's certainly something he's very familiar with. Now a runner in scoring position for Waters. Here's the 1-1. That one's grounded over to short. Bruno stays down on it. Throw over to first is in time for the second out of the inning. And that'll advance Scipio over to third on the play, and that'll bring up the cleanup man, Dylan Bowman. Bowen over at first tonight, and he takes that first pitch, just missed for a ball. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 pitch is in the dirt. 2-0 now the count to Bowen. Bowen only played in 6 games this spring over at VMI. Had 5 at bats. He never reached base. Here's the 2-0. Takes that one on the outside corner for a called strike. 2-1 the count. The 2-1 pitch. That one's on the outside half. 2-2 the count. Stevens trying to avoid the Steamers giving up a run in the first inning in back-to-back nights. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just missed on the outer side. 3-2 now the count. 2 down here in the first. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed by Bowen. The first strikeout of the game for Stevens. And he leaves the first inning scoreless. We head to the bottom half of the first. The Steamers coming to the plate in a scoreless tie. Steamers fans, the new 2022 Edenton Steamers merchandise has arrived. There are plenty of ways for you to pick up your new Steamers gear. You can visit EdentonSteamers.com and place an order, stop by Sound Feet Shoes of Edenton, or head to the merchandise trailer located behind the first base dugout at Historic Hicks Field. You can also pick up some of the brand new Chowan County Cantaloupes gear, but only at Historic Hicks Field. Thank you for your support and repping your Steamers gear. Out on the mound tonight for the Knights is Joey Rodriguez. Rodriguez currently in the transfer portal, played at Old Dominion last spring, had 12 appearances, went 4-0 with an ERA slightly under 10. He only pitched 8 innings. But he's getting the start here in game number 2 for Greenbrier. A team that gave up 8 runs last night. Looking for a better outing tonight, and they're taking on a Steamers squad that scored 9 runs one night ago. So we'll see if Rodriguez can bounce back for the Knights or if the Steamers can keep the bats hot. There's a hot top half of the lineup for the Steamers. It all begins with Chase Bruno. He's led off in every game this season. He's been at shortstop every game this season. He's right there again tonight. Bruno fist bumps with the catcher Warren Bailey as we're set to get underway in the bottom half of the first. Chase Bruno led off last night's game with a home run on the second pitch he saw. The first pitch he sees tonight is chopped back towards the middle. Moving over is Proctor. His throw to first is in time. A nice effort there from Dominic Proctor. Going to his left, throwing across the diamond, and nabbing Bruno for the first out of the night. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Steamers. That'll bring up second baseman Alden Cottle. Cottle, his second straight night playing at second. We've seen him have starts both at third base and second. First pitch he sees, he lets it come across for a strike, 0-1. Cottle out of the University of Mount Olive. He's tied for the second most runs batted in on the Steamers with 3. The 0-1 pitch is a bit high, 1-1 the count. Cottle, no stranger to knocking in runs, knocked in 61 this spring at the University of Mount Olive in 54 games. The 1-1 to Cottle. A swing and a miss on a pitch inside, 1-2 the count. One and two the count to Cottle. Here's the pitch. He'll send that one high out towards left center field. Moving back towards the wall, looking up, and it's off the wall. Cottle's into second with a stand-up double as Scipio gets it back to the infield. And a runner down at second base with 1 out here in the first for the Steamers. And that'll bring up a guy the Steamers certainly happy to have up in this situation. Jackson Hipp comes to the plate, following up an Alden Cottle double. Hipp leads the team with 3 doubles. 2 of them coming over the weekend in game-winning or go-ahead hits in the 8th inning here at Historic Hicks Field. And that first pitch is across for a called strike, 0-1 to Hipp. Jackson Hipp back for his second straight season here in Edenton. Only had 3 doubles all of last season, so he's already matched that total here in 2022 through 5 games. The 0-1 to Hipp. Swung on high, chopper back to the mound. Rodriguez waits for it. Underhand flip to first in time. 2 down here in the first. But Cottle does move over to third. And that'll bring Houston Wright up to the plate. Houston Wright has a hit in every game this season so far for the Clams. Knocked in 3 runs last night. And he's got an opportunity here with Alden Cottle over at third. Here's the first pitch to Wright. Inside for a ball, 0-1. The 1-0 pitch to Wright. He'll swing and foul that one down the third base side. The count moves to 0-2. Or 1-1, pardon me. Wright, the former Premier Collegiate League MVP back in 2020. Holds Steamers franchise records in runs batted in and batting average in a season. He'll swing and send that one over to the right side. It's scooped up. And they'll flip it over to Rodriguez, and that will wrap up the first inning. The Steamers strand a runner over at third. We head to the second. Still tied at 0. The Steamers are proud to announce that Venture Tours is the official travel partner of the team for the 2022 season. Venture Tours, Inc. is a family-owned company specializing in motor coach transportation. The owners have been in the motor coach industry for more than 40 years. A mixture of hard work and family legacy have helped to create Venture Tours Incorporated, one of the most successful motor coach companies in Hampton Roads, coastal Virginia. If you're interested in traveling with Venture Tours, give them a call at 757-494-1480 or visit venturebustours.com. Leading off here in the second is Warren Bailey, catching tonight for the Knights. Bryce Stevens' first pitch is fouled straight back, 0-1 the count. Stevens struck out 1 back in that first inning. He struck out 7 in just 4 innings back in his first appearance this season. He's ahead in this count, 0-1. The pitch is skied out towards left. Ranging back is Cole. He's at the wall. He looks up, and it is gone. A home run to lead off the second inning for Warren Bailey. And the Knights take the early 1-0 lead here at historic Hicks Field. For the second straight night, it's the Steamers finding themselves in an early hole. Last night trailing 2-1 after the first inning, now trailing 1-0 here in the second. That'll bring Andre Daltrey up to the plate, playing third for Greenbrier. And that one is dropped by Kermode, called a ball, 1-0 the count. Stevens only allowed a pair of home runs at Enterprise State Community College this spring. That 1-0 is popped up and out of play, foul, 1-1 the count. Daltrey, one of a few Knights here on this team that played at Old Dominion University, played in 14 games, hit .211. As he fouls the second straight pitch off, the count moves to 1-2. Daltrey down in the count, struck out 3 times last night. And that one's a bit outside, dropped again by Kermode. Count evens up at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. A bit outside, count is full, 3-2. The Knights lost last night to the Virginia Beach Sea Dogs out at Lakewood Park. And remember, Lakewood Park's the home of 4 different teams here in the PCL. 3-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. Count remains full. Lakewood Park will host the Norfolk Redbirds, the Suffolk Voyagers, Virginia Beach Sea Dogs, and these Greenbrier Knights. It was a doubleheader last night, with Virginia Beach taking down Greenbrier and Norfolk taking down Suffolk. Here's the 3-2 from Stevens. Swung and slowly knocked over to second. Caldwell's got it. Throw to first is in time for the first out here in the second. That'll bring the right fielder Bert Hahn up to the plate, batting 7th tonight for Greenbrier. The first pitch coming from Stevens. Just a bit outside and low. 1-0 the count. Hahn hit .257 in his spring season at USC Union. The 1-0 is chopped over to third. Morris waits on it. He's got it. Throw down to first is just in time to beat the speedy Hahn. 2 down here in the second. We saw Blake Gibson take advantage of ground outs last night in Tarboro. He forced 11 ground ball outs against the River Bandits last night, and Stevens has already worked through 3 ground ball outs here against Greenbrier. That'll bring Dominic Proctor up to the plate for the Knights. He'll take the first pitch. It's across for a strike, 0-1. Proctor playing at shortstop tonight for the Knights. Had a hit last night against Virginia Beach. And he fouls that one straight back. He's behind in the count, 0-2.
You said that? I didn't even say a while ago you said information, but
Proctor hit .305 at Bryan and Stratton this spring.
yeah, we hadn't had that. We had 4
Behind in the count, 0-2 with 2 outs in the second. Here's the pitch. Dropped again by Kermode, 1-2 the count. It's the third ball that's bounced off the glove of Case Kermode tonight. Kermode back behind the plate after having the night off in Tarboro is Jeremiah Boyd behind the plate for Edenton. Here's the 1-2 from Stevens. Taking a bit outside, the count moves to 2-2. That one is fouled back again by Proctor. He stays alive. Count stays at 2-2. We'll see if Stevens can move a little bit deeper into this game compared to his last start where he went 4 innings. The Steamers were forced to use 5 pitchers last night in Tarboro. Only a few guys that will take the mound for Edenton tonight are available to pitch. And that one's inside. It hits the back of Proctor. And he'll take first on the hit by pitch with 2 down here in the second. Steamers have 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch tonight. As mentioned earlier, the River Bandits last night against the Steamers had 11 guys reach on walks, and 1 was hit by a pitch. 2 outs here in the second. That'll bring Andy Choi up to the plate. He takes low on the first pitch for a ball. 1-0 the count. Choi, the designated hitter tonight for the Knights. Here's the 1-0. Choi skies that one first base side. Abbott over towards the fence, and that one will go out of play. Count moves even, 1-1. Choi's from Herkimer County College. Didn't have any stats here in his freshman season this spring. Stevens throws over and back in easily as Proctor. We saw Stevens pick off Max Lucas, who led off this game with a walk. Stevens threw over a couple of times and actually got him. And he'll try it again, seeing if he can have the same luck, but back in there safely is Proctor. Now, Max Lucas had a couple of strides of a lead and had an even bigger secondary lead. Proctor still closer to the bag, and now Proctor takes off. A swing and miss. The throw down to second is in time. A perfect throw from Case Kermode. Alden Cottle applies the tag, and that will wrap up the top of the second. The Knights do get on the board thanks to a solo shot from Warren Bailey. We'll head to the bottom half of the second. Steamers trailing 1-0. The Edenton Steamers and Edenton Aces are excited to join forces as the Edenton Baseball Club. The Edenton Baseball Club's mission is to raise money to benefit historic Hicks Field and contribute to the longevity of our beautiful facility. On Saturday, June 18th, the Steamers will be wearing special themed jerseys that bear the logo of the Steamers and the Aces. The jerseys will be auctioned off during the game, and the proceeds from this auction will directly benefit projects going on inside historic Hicks Field. We appreciate your support of our historic homestand. Tate Abbott will lead things off for the Steamers here in the second. Abbott with 3 hits last night in Tarboro now leads the team in batting average at .429. Abbott lets the first pitch come across for a ball. Count is 1-0. Abbott getting the start over at first base, where he's been in every game this season so far. The 1-0 pitch. Abbott lays off. Counts 2-0. Abbott tied for second on the team in hits through the first 4 games with 6, including a double last night in Tarboro. Here's the 2-0 pitch. On the outside corner, a called strike, 2-1. Steamers had a double back in the first inning from Alden Cottle, but he was stranded over at third to end the inning. Rodriguez is set. Here's the 2-1. Abbott leaves it outside, 3-1. Abbott from Catawba Valley Community College. Swings and fouls that one back. Full count now. In his spring season, Abbott didn't see too much action. Only a few at bats since March for Abbott. So this is a big summer for him. 3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Abbott takes low for a ball, and he's aboard as the leadoff man here in the second. Nate Paulson up to the plate now for the Steamers. Had a pair of hits opening night in Clayton, yet to get a hit since. But he's up with the leadoff man Abbott down at first. Rodriguez from the stretch for the second time tonight. Here's the first pitch. Swung and chopped over towards second, and it's a diving stop by Lucas, but he can't get the throw away. It's an infield hit for Nate Paulson. And the Steamers have runners at first and second, nobody out, as Hunter Cole will come to the plate. Hunter Cole still without his first hit. Back in the lineup tonight after getting the night off in Tarboro. Up with 2 men on the first pitch. Cole lays off. It's across for a strike, 0-1. Hunter Cole near the top of every Steamer's batting category last summer. Looking to get back in the flow here in 2022. The 0-1. A half swing at that one. He misses it. It's 0-2 now the count. Cole hit .301 across 27 games for the Steamers last summer. Good enough to be named a 2021 All-Star. The 0-2 to Cole. Swings and fouls that one, third base line. It's actually going to stay in play out in left field. It's caught out in the corner from Waters for the first out here in the second. And that'll bring up Chris Morris. Morris only one at bat so far. That came on opening night in Clayton. Still looking for his first hit. He's pitched a couple of times so far for the Steamers, including last night. And Morris lets the first one come across for a strike, 0-1 the count. Morris, one of a few two-way guys here in Edenton. He hit .233 in 29 games at Pitt Community College. The 0-1 to Morris is swung on and hit. Oh, what a catch at third by Daltrey, and they throw back to second, a double up Abbott. An impressive leaping catch from Daltrey. He turns the double play, and that wraps up the second inning here at historic Hicks Field. We'll head to the third. It's the Knights on top, 1-0. The Edenton Steamers are excited to announce that they'll be hosting 2 youth baseball camps this summer. This year's camp dates are June 15th through the 17th and July 13th through the 15th. Young ball players between the ages of 5 and 13 are welcome. The cost is $100 to register, and your kid will receive first-class instruction from some of the best college baseball players around. Visit EdentonSteamers.com to register today. Bryce Stevens back out on the mound for the Clams. It's his third inning of work so far. The only run of the game tonight came on a solo home run from Warren Bailey in the top half of the second inning for Greenbrier. As mentioned, the Knights still looking for win number 1 after falling last night to Virginia Beach. The Steamers looking to get back in the win column after suffering loss number 1 at Tarboro one night ago. Steamers sit at 3-1 overall and 1-1 in Premier Collegiate League play. Stevens is ready. The first pitch to Andy Choi is fouled off. Choi was batting back in inning number 2 when Dominic Proctor was thrown out trying to steal second. The 0-1 to Choi. He takes that one inside. 1-1 the count. So Choi's seen a couple of extra pitches from Stevens. Had a bit to think about it. Trying to take advantage in a 1-1 count. He swings and misses at that one. Good pitch on the inner half from Stevens. The count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 from Stevens. Swung and grounded to third. Moving over to pick it up is Morris. A couple of strides, and his throw to first is a bit offline, but a nice play from Abbott to reach out and make the tag on Choi for the first out here in the third. Back to the top of the order for the Knights. Max Lucas up to the plate. Led off tonight's game with a walk. First pitch from Stevens is fouled straight back, 0-1. Lucas out at second base today for Greenbrier. He lets that one come across for a ball. 1-1 the count. Lucas had a single last night, but also a strikeout and loss to Virginia Beach. He swings and misses at the 1-1 count. Moves to 1-2. Something the Steamers will need to do tonight is get ahead in counts after walking 11 one night ago in Tarboro. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung and slowly hit over to second. Alden Cottle waits. Throw to first in time. 2 down here in the third. Two up, 2 down here in the third for the Knights. That'll bring up Quincy Scipio, who singled his first time up. Scipio initially came up with a leadoff man in Max Lucas over at first, but he was picked off at first by Stevens. Here's the first pitch to Scipio. That one is floated out to center. Ranging back is Paulson. He's under it, and he'll make the catch. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Stevens. We head to the bottom of the third. The Knights still ahead 1-0. The Albemarle Area United Way is a nonprofit organization that improves residents' lives in 9 counties throughout northeastern North Carolina. This year, the Steamers have partnered up with the United Way and are looking to help raise money for their services. On Friday, July 2nd, the Steamers will be wearing specially themed patriotic jerseys for the game. The jerseys will be auctioned off during the game, and all proceeds will go back to the Albemarle Area United Way. If you would like to have this one-of-a-kind jersey, be sure to be here that night and support a good cause. A huge thank you to H2OBX Water Park for making this night possible for the Albemarle Area United Way. Hello and welcome back here to Historic Hicks Field on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning here between the Greenbrier Knights and the Edenton Steamers. And the number 9 hitter, Case Kermode, will lead us off here in the 3rd. The first pitch from Rodriguez is low, 1-0 the count. Kermode back in the lineup. He's only had 3 at-bats so far this season. Had the night off last night in Tarboro, and he chops that one high in front of the plate. Kermode flying down the line, and there's no play at first. Bailey struggled to pick it up with the bare hand, and Case Kermode legs it out. He's aboard. Here is the leadoff man in the 3rd. Back to the top of the order for Edenton. It's Chase Bruno up to the plate. There's going to be an error charge to Warren Bailey on the play. First pitch is swung on and fouled off by Bruno. 0-1 the count. Bruno led off last night's game with a home run. Only the 2nd home run so far this summer for the Steamers. Jared Beebe with the other. That occurred back on opening night in Clayton. It's Kermode over at first. Bruno in the box. The 0-1. Bruno shows Bunny, gets it down beautifully. Back to Rodriguez, and he throws a bit wide. The tag is still applied by Lucas at first for the first out, but it does move Case Kermode into scoring position. Cottle comes up to the plate now, playing second, doubled his first time up out to left center field. There's probably some thought with that behind the bunt. A man in scoring position for a guy that's got a big hit off Rodriguez already. He swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. 0-1 the count. That double back in the first was Cottle's first extra base hit as a Steamer. Only his 4th hit so far this season. Here's the 0-1 from Rodriguez. That one is fouled right into the Knights dugout. 0-2 the count. Cottle's tied for 2nd on the Steamers and runs batted in at 3. A prime opportunity now with a runner at scoring position and only 1 out. Kermode dancing off second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's inside. 1-2. Case Kermode down at second. Only played in 4 games at the University of Mount Olive. He stole no bases. So those dance moves out there may not get Rodriguez too worried. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one is chopped back towards the middle. Moving back to get it is Proctor. His throw across the diamond is in time to get Cottle. Kermode moves to 3rd. That's the 2nd out here in the 3rd. And for the 2nd time, the Steamers have a runner over at 3rd and 2 outs. They failed to score on that opportunity. Back in the 1st inning, had 2 aboard in the 2nd with 1 out and didn't score. Jackson Hip up to the plate for Edenton. The first pitch he sees is chopped back and foul, 0-1. Hip grounded out his first time up with Caudle out at second. He's behind in the count. Here's the 0-1 to Hip. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Jackson Hip hitting .308 through 4 games so far this season. 3 of his 4 hits have been extra bases. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. A nice stop there by Bailey. Kermode way off the bag at third, able to scamper back. Hip steps into the box, tied for the team lead and runs batted in with 4 so far this season. The 1-2 to Hip. That one's hit to the right side in shallow right field. Ranging in is Hahn, and he'll make the catch for the final out here, the third. The Steamers strand a runner at third for the second time tonight. We will head to the fourth. It's Greenbrier 1, Edenton 0. Venture Tours is excited to announce the return of their Atlantic City Casino Day trips. You don't have to break your piggy bank to visit Atlantic City for the day. Tickets are $85 and you must be 21 years or older to participate. The trip includes $35 in free slot play at Resorts Casino. These Saturday night trips offer exciting escorted trips where you can ride in comfort and luxury. If you're interested in traveling with Venture Tours, give them a call at 757-494-1480 or visit VentureBusTours.com. Venture Tours is the official travel partner of the Steamers for the 2022 season. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field here in the top of the 4th inning between the Greenbrier Knights and the Edenton Steamers. Bryce Stevens back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work. He'll be facing Luke Waters, who swings and fouls that one back out on the right side. It's an 0-1 count. Waters out in left field tonight for the Knights, the 3-hole hitter. Here's the 0-1 from Stevens. He takes it on the outside corner. It's an 0-2 count. Waters grounded out in his first at bat. And he's down in the count, 0-2. Here's the pitch. Way outside from Stevens. The count moves to 1-2. Waters had a double last night against Virginia Beach for his only hit. And he takes that one inside, nearly got a piece of his left shoulder. The count is now 2-2. Stevens has done a good job of getting ahead in counts in the last couple of innings. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A bit outside. He didn't quite offer at it. Kermode checks it first, and they say he went. Wow, the first base umpire didn't seem too inclined to take up case on his offer, but when the home plate umpire pointed over, it was an immediate out signal. It's the second strikeout of the night for Stevens and the first out here in the 4th. That'll bring Dylan Bowen up to the plate. Bowen takes one inside, nearly got him on the shins. 1-0 the count. In Bowen's first at bat, he was the first strikeout of the night for Bryce Stevens. Second pitch, he sends that one high out towards center field. Paulson back, and it's going to go up against the wall. Paulson plays it quickly, trying to get it all the way into second, and into second with a stand-up double is Bowen. It's the third hit of the night for the Knights. The second of an extra base variety, and the man that did it first is Warren Bailey up to the plate now. Had a solo home run back in the second. He's up with a runner in scoring position, just one out. Stevens' first pitch is inside for a ball, 1-0. Bailey catching tonight for Greenbrier with an opportunity to knock in his second run of the evening. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's bounced foul behind Kermode. 1-1 the count. Bailey homered 9 times this spring at Bryan and Stratton. He's got a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one is swung on and missed. He was out ahead of it. Count moves to 1-2. Bailey was really hot in the month of April. 19 runs batted in, and just about a month later trying to keep that up in the summertime for the Knights. He's already knocked one in tonight. Here's the 1-2 from Stevens. Swing and a miss. He got him. The second strikeout of the inning for Bryce Stevens, his third of the game. And it's the second out here in the fourth. A big strikeout with a runner down at second, and that'll bring up Andre Daltrey. Daltrey over at third tonight for the Knights. The first pitch from Stevens is swung on and missed. Strike one. Daltrey grounded out in his first at bat back in the second inning. Stevens takes a peek back at Bowen, and now he'll spin all the way around. Trying to keep Bowen honest over there. Doesn't have many stats concerning his speed because he never reached base in 6 games at VMI. That's Bowen. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss again. Count moves to 0-2. Daltrey hit .211 this spring at Old Dominion University. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, sliced out towards right center field. Paulson moving in, and a diving catch! Oh, what a fantastic effort from Nate Paulson to save a run and wrap up the 4th inning. We will head to the bottom of the 4th. The Knights still lead 1-0 here at historic Hicks Field. The Edenton Steamers are the greatest show in town. How can we make that any better? Throw in some fireworks. The Steamers have 2 remaining fireworks shows scheduled for the summer. You can catch these shows on Saturday, July 2nd and Saturday, July 30th. Mark your calendars and we will see you at the ballpark. Opening night here for the Steamers back on Saturday against the Boone Bigfoots on June 4th was the first of 3 fireworks nights the Steamers had, and it was phenomenal. Part of it was here at the end of the broadcast. It was a wonderful show, about 10 minutes long. Almost every fan, almost all of the 950 fans in attendance that night stayed to watch the beautiful show. We're just about ready to go here in the bottom of the 4th. The Steamers still scoreless after putting up 9 runs in Tarboro last night. The man leading off the 4th, looking to get things back on the right foot, is Houston Wright. Wright grounded out in his first at bat. That first pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Rodriguez back out there for the Knights, trying to maneuver through his 4th inning of work. The 1-0 to Wright, taken on the outer half, 1-1. Rodriguez only went a total of 8 1/3 innings this spring at Old Dominion University. Now he's currently in the transfer portal. Looking to raise that stock here in Greenbrier. Here's the 1-1 right out in front of it. Sends it high out to right field. Hahn ranging over. And moving in to pick it up is Scipio, and he'll make the catch for the first out here in the 4th. That'll bring Tate Abbott up to the plate, reach base with a walk his first time up. Abbott's been the model of consistency through 4 games here for the Steamers. He'll lay off that first pitch. It's across for a strike, 0-1. Abbott leading the team in batting average at .429, second in on-base percentage at .467. The 0-1 to Abbott. Just missed outside, 1-1 the count. Abbott coming off a nice night last night in Tarboro. 3 hits, including his first double of the season off the right field wall. Looking to get things started here in the 4th with 1 down and a 1-1 count. The pitch. Abbott swings and misses, counts to 1-2. It's been a pair of innings and 8 batters since the Steamers had their last hit. It was a single by Nate Paulson back in the 2nd. Abbott swings and misses. It's strikeout number 1 for Rodriguez, and it's out number 2 here in the 4th. That'll bring the aforementioned Nate Paulson up to the plate, singled in his first time up. Two down here in the 4th. Edenton with 2 hits, Greenbrier with 3 tonight. The first pitch to Paulson is fouled. Back, it's an 0-1 count. The Knights took that 1-0 lead thanks to a solo home run for Moore and Bailey back in the 2nd inning. And that's where the score stands now. The 0-1 to Paulson is bounced foul near the Steamers' dugout, 0-2 the count. The Steamers have been a bit out in front on these pitches from Rodriguez. And Paulson, after fouling back-to-back pitches off, down in the count, 0-2. Rodriguez is set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to short. Proctor's got it. Takes his time, throws across the diamond to get the speeding Paulson for the 3rd out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Steamers. We will head to the 5th in a low-scoring game in historic Hicks Field. It's Greenbrier 1, Edenton 0. Every year, the Steamers are proud to have the opportunity to raise money for the Jim Catfish Hunter ALS Foundation. On Saturday, July 16th, the Steamers will wear special themed jerseys that'll be auctioned off during the game. Proceeds will go towards the fight to strike out ALS. Catfish Hunter is a Major League Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher that lived just a short distance from historic Hicks Field and was even a host family for the organization in its inaugural year. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with ALS over 20 years ago, and the Steamers will continue to carry on his legacy and do their part to strike out ALS. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field here in the top half of the fifth inning. Bryce Stevens back out on the mound for inning number 5. Working against right fielder Bert Hahn, who fouled the first pitch back. It's an 0-1 count to Hahn. The 0-1 from Stevens. That one's popped back behind the plate again and out of play. 0-2. Hahn grounded out his first time up back in the second inning. Stevens is ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And it gets Hahn in the back. It's the second hit batter of the night for Stevens. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Knights. It's the third inning tonight that the Knights have had the leadoff man reach base. And that'll bring up Dominic Proctor, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. He was eventually thrown out trying to steal second base. So he must not have been feeling too bad. Right now it's Hahn over at first, Proctor at the plate. The first pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Proctor. Proctor reached base 3 times last night against Virginia Beach, a pair of walks and a single. A swing and miss on a pitch a bit outside. 0-2 the count now to Proctor. Leadoff man over at first in Hahn. Proctor down in the count. 0-2 to Stevens. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Bit outside. Kermode tried to hold it. The count moves to 1-2. The Knights have scattered 3 hits across the first 5 innings here tonight at historic Hicks Field. And Stevens will go check on Hahn over at first for the pickoff attempt. He's back in safely. Remember, after Max Lucas walked to lead off this game, we saw Bryce Stevens pick him off at first after a couple of throws over. The first time we've seen that from a Steamer this season. That pitch is lined back to the mound off the glove of Stevens. It's picked up by Bruno. He's got no play. Stevens able to keep it in the infield. And Kermo going to walk out to check on him. Stevens waves the glove as to say that's where it got him. The first 2 batters aboard for the Knights here in the 5th. And that'll bring Andy Choi up to the plate. Choi with 2 men on, nobody out. He swings at the first pitch. He sees one hopper over to Bruno, and it went between his legs. Paulson's throwing home as the runner's coming in. That one's over into the backstop. Coming in to score is Hahn. Proctor moves over to third. Choi moves into second. And a ball that squeezed between the 5-hole of Bruno puts another run on the board for the Knights. It's now 2-0. It almost seemed like a tailor-made double play, and the usually sure-handed Bruno misplayed it on a bounce on a ball that didn't really bounce and squeaked between his legs. Paulson on the throw home. a bit high, and the runners move to second and third. Still nobody out here in the fifth as the Knights are back at the top of the lineup. It's Max Lucas up to the plate. Walked and grounded out tonight. That one is smoked down the first base line, but foul. 1-1 the count. Stevens, so far, this is his longest of his Sioux appearances this summer. Went 4 innings back in his first start against Boone. I'm sure head coach Justin Hill would love to stretch Stevens out a little bit more tonight, as that one is grounded over to Bruno. This time he's got it. Throw over to first is in time, but another run comes home for the Knights. It's now 3-0 Greenbrier. It's an RBI ground out from Lucas. That'll bring Quincy Scipio to the plate. A runner over at third. Still just 1 out here in the fifth. First pitch to Scipio nearly got him on the shoulder. It's inside. 1-0 the count. Scipio singled his first time up and flew out his second time. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's outside. 2-0 the count. And it's Troy over at third. He's been stopping and starting, trying to get the attention of Stevens when he goes into the windup. Here's the 2-0. That one's high. 3-0 the count. Runner at third, less than 2 outs. Tate Abbott right up against the infield grass at first. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike. 3-1. Chris Morris over at third, playing even with the bag. Chase Bruno at short and Alden Cottle at second, both pretty far back. That one's grounded over to Cottle. He'll get a tough bounce. It bounces off his chest into right field. Another run comes home, and it is now 4-0 Greenbrier. An unfortunate bounce for Cottle, who's also been pretty sure-handed. It's the third run for Greenbrier in the inning. They now lead 4-0, and Kermode's going to come out and have a conversation with Stevens. It was a tough bounce. That'll go down as the 5th hit of the night for Greenbrier. As Luke Waters comes to the plate out in left field tonight for the Knights. The home plate umpire will come out and break up the meeting between Kermode and Stevens. Remember, the Clams used 5 pitchers last night in the loss to Tarboro. Hoping that Stevens can give them at least through this 5th inning, maybe even the 6th. But still some work to do. 1 out here in the 5th. First pitch is down low for a ball. 1-0. Waters 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out his last time up. He's got Quincy Scipio over at first. Scipio takes off, and that one is fouled straight back to even up the count. 1-1. A reminder, Scipio stole a base back in the first inning after singling. And he stole 35 bags this spring at Camp Community College. Always a threat to take off. Doesn't even have that big of a lead. Here's the 1-1. That one's in the dirt. It'll go all the way to the backstop, and Scipio will take second. The count moves to 2-1, and now the Knights back with a runner in scoring position in Scipio. A guy with enough speed where if Waters can get a hit, he may come all the way around. Here's the 2-1 from Stevens. That one is chopped over towards third. Morris is in on it. Makes the play. Slides into the grass. Throw to first is in time. A close play at first. Just enough to get Waters, and it's Scipio moving to third on the throw with 2 down here in the 5th. Dylan Bowen up to the plate now for the Knights. Doubled his last time up. Struck out swinging his first time up at the plate against Stevens. He's up with 2 outs here in the 5th. Here's the first pitch. In the dirt, 1-0. Quincy Scipio over at third. A lot of speed. Already a couple bags stolen tonight as Stevens will step off. Going to be important for Case Kermo to block anything low and not give Scipio the opportunity to steal a run. That one in the outer half. Count moves to 1-1. Kermo back behind the plate tonight after getting the night off last night in Tarboro. Here's the 1-1 from Stevens. That one's in the dirt. Good job by Kermo to get down and block it. 2-1 now, the count to Bowen. That one is taken for a called strike. The count evens up at 2-2. Bowen went without a hit last night against Virginia Beach. Flew out and walked. Looking to grow the lead for Greenbrier. Here's the 2-2. It's a swing and a miss. Strike 3 swinging. The 4th strikeout for Bryce Stevens. But the Knights put 3 more on the board here in the 5th. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Steamers trail 4-0. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field for this Premier Collegiate League matchup between the Greenbrier Knights and the Edenton Steamers. The Clams trailing 4-0 after a 3-run top of the 5th for Greenbrier. The Clams 2-0 so far here at Historic Hicks Field after a perfect weekend on Saturday and Sunday with a pair of dramatic comeback wins. The Knights 0-1 in Premier Collegiate League play after losing last night to Virginia Beach, looking for win number 1. Hunter Cole will lead things off here in the 5th, and he takes low for a ball to begin the at-bat. Hunter Cole still looking for that elusive first hit here in 2022. The 1-0. On the inside corner, called a strike, 1-1. Cole racked up 64 hits in 38 games last summer here in Edenton. 1-1 pitch. Cole swings and misses. It moves to 1-2. Cole flew out his first time up tonight. He's 0 for 8 to start the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Cole fouls that one back. It remains 1-2. Cole, last season's Giesecke Gold Award winner, given to the Steamers MVP. Here's the 1-2 from Rodriguez. Cole swings and misses. Second strikeout of the night for Rodriguez. Cole heads back to the dugout as the first out here in the fifth. That'll bring Chris Morris up to the plate. Had a hard hit double play in his first at bat. A liner over to third. That was a leaping catch made by Andre Daltrey before throwing back to second to finish off the double play as that first pitch is outside. 1-0. Morris only his third at bat here in Edenton. He's pitched a couple of times on the mound. One of those two-way guys here for the Clams. Here's the 1-0. That one is swung on and fouled right into the dirt. The count evens up at 1-1. Morris pitched a bit last night in the loss to Tarboro. One of 5 pitchers used by head coach Justin Hill against the River Bandits. And Morris, just like Cole, still looking for hit number 1, albeit in a few less at-bats for Morris. That first hit can sometimes be the hardest one to come by. Had 10 hits and 43 at-bats this spring at Pitt Community College. And here's the 1-1 to Morris. That one's across for a called strike, 1-2. As the throw back to the pitcher from Bailey heads out into center field. Really one of the only things that's gone against Greenbrier tonight. Steamers without a hit since the second inning. They've only got 2 tonight. The 1-2 to Morris. Swung on, poked down the first base side, ranging over is Bowen, and he's under it to make the catch in foul territory, and out number 2. That'll bring up Case Kermode, who reached on an error back in his first at-bat. A short chopper in front of the plate would have been close. He might have beat it out regardless, but Warren Bailey bobbled the ball, trying to pick it up off the grass with his bare hand. Kermode leaves that one outside. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Steamers offense looking to avoid back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. Once again without a hit since inning number 2. Here's the 1-0 to Kermode. He sees that come across as a strike, evening the count at 1-1. Joey Rodriguez back out there for the Knights here in inning number 5. And he shut down the Steamers so far. That pitch is fouled down the first base side by Kermode and out of play. A couple of bodies standing up in the Greenbrier bullpen, but no one really fully going for the Knights. Rodriguez with the ball now. The 1-2 pitch. A high chopper over to short. Proctor moves in. Throw to first is a bit high, and it's off the glove of Bowen. And Kermode is aboard with 2 outs here in the 5th. The high throw there from Proctor goes down as the second error tonight for the Knights. And the top of the lineup back up for Edenton. It's Chase Bruno. Bruno swings at the first pitch and fouls that one away. 0-1 the count. Bruno laid down a bunt to move Kermode to second his last time up. It was a perfect bunt, but now he'll get the chance to swing the bat with 2 down here in the 5th. The 0-1 to Bruno. He'll swing and send that one high out towards left center field. Scipio moving back towards the wall, and it's going to be up against the wall. Kermode's coming around third. He's heading for home. The throw to the plate, not in time. It's an RBI double for Chase Bruno, and the Steamers are on the board. It's Bruno's 4th run batted in of the season and a clutch 2-out hit to cut the Edenton deficit to 3. Alden Cottle will try and keep the line moving. He doubled back in the first inning. In his first at bat, he's got a runner out at second in Bruno with a lot of speed, but 2 outs here in the 5th. The first pitch to Cottle. He'll swing and miss. It's 0-1. Still not a ton of action down there in the Greenbrier bullpen. Still trusting Joey Rodriguez with a 3-run lead here in the 5th. Bruno stands out at second. Here's the pitch. That one's inside. 1-1 the count. The first double of the season for Chase Bruno. As mentioned, the 4th run he's knocked in. Alden Cottle's knocked in 3 runs so far this summer, and he's got an opportunity with Bruno out at second and 2 down here in the 5th. The count's even at 1-1. The pitch, Cottle off the end of the bat, floats it out towards second. A lunging grab for Lucas, and that'll wrap up the 5th inning. The Steamers get one back. They cut the Knights' lead to 3. We head to the 6th. It's Greenbrier 4, Edenton 1. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field, where we've got our first pitching change of the night. It's Cameron Lewis from West Virginia State University in to pitch for the Steamers. Bryce Stevens went 5 innings tonight. 4 runs came across for the Knights. He had 4 strikeouts. The Steamers defense did have a pair of errors behind Stevens, so not all 4 of those earned. Lewis in for the second time this season. He's going up against Warren Bailey, the catcher for Greenbrier. Bailey had a home run in his first at bat, struck out swinging his last time up. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Here's the pitch from Lewis. Inside for a ball, 2-0. Lewis made his first appearance over the weekend, went 3 scoreless innings and struck out a pair. Got a couple of big double plays to work out of some trouble as well. Here's the 2-0. That one's skied. Morris running over towards the Steamers dugout. It'll drop out of play. And the count moves to 2-1. Lewis, one of 3 Steamers from West Virginia State University this season. Tyrus Bumgarner, who pitched last night, is one of the others, and Nate Paulson out in center field is the third. Here's the 2-1 from Lewis. Check swing. The umpire says he went. It's a 2-2 count. Kermode was checking down at first, but the home plate umpire took it upon himself to make the call, and we're evened up at 2-2. Here's the pitch from Lewis. A bit high. Count is full, 3-2. Cameron Lewis pitched in 8 games this spring at West Virginia State University. A little over 11 innings pitched. That one is fouled back by Bailey. Count remains full. Lewis had an ERA a bit under 5. And hitters hit .292 against him this spring. That pitch is in the dirt, ball 4. And the Knights have another leadoff man aboard. It's the 4th inning of this game that the Knights have put the leadoff man on, and that'll bring up Andre Daltrey. Flew out to center his first time up, was robbed on a diving catch from Nate Paulson, which at the time saved a run. First pitch to Daltrey's outside, 1-0. Lewis yet to allow a hit over his first 2 appearances this summer. All 3 runners that have reached against him have been on walks. Here's the 1-0 to Daltrey. That one is chopped high over to third and foul. And the count evens up at 1-1. Daltrey 0 for 2 tonight with that aforementioned flyout, and he grounded out in his first at bat. Lewis from the stretch. Here's the 1-1. Skied out towards center field. Paulson sprinting in. Bruno's going to go back for it and make the catch. It's the first out here in the 6th. Bruno took a look over at first. Bailey came a bit off the bag, but Bruno didn't want to risk throwing it away. So Bailey remains at first. 1 down here in the 6th. A nice play out there by Bruno, working his way back as Paulson was in a full sprint in, might not have gotten there. Bert Hahn will come to the plate for the Knights now with 1 man aboard, 1 out. He takes that first pitch outside. 1-0 the count. Hahn was hit by a pitch his last time up, one of 2 hitters that Bryce Stevens hit tonight. Here's the 1-0 from Lewis. Swing and a miss for a strike. 1-1 the count. Bailey, the catcher over there at first, did have 12 stolen bases at Bryan and Stratton College this spring, so runs well for a catcher. The count is 1-1. Here's the pitch to Hahn. That's outside. 2-1. The Knights 5 hits so far tonight. The Steamers 3. A pair of errors for both sides. And Lewis will throw over, and Abbott does a good job getting a quick tag down back in safely as Bailey. But we saw Bryce Stevens pick off Max Lucas, the first batter of the game, over there at first after a leadoff walk. 2-1 the count to Hahn. Here's the pitch from Lewis. A swing and a miss on a pitch that was in the dirt. Nice stop by Kermode. Keeps Bailey over at first. The count evens up at 2-2. Cameron Lewis, one of 5 different guys that head coach Justin Hill said was available tonight. After the Steamers used 5 pitchers a night ago in Tarboro, Tyrus Bumgarner and Jacob Lawler, who both went last night, were said to be available by Hill. As Lewis checks over again at first. Jared Beebe and Travis Hamrick both available tonight, but both still without an appearance on the mound for the Steamers, as that one is chopped foul on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2. Third base coach for Greenbrier, very animated, thought that ball was in play. Was already waving his arms around for Bailey to come around second and maybe even around third. Two and two the count. One out here in the 6th. Here's the pitch from Lewis. In the dirt, and there's no throw as Bailey swipes second base. He picked a good pitch to steal on as Kermode really didn't have an opportunity to make the play as that ball bounced in the dirt. It's the second stolen base of the night for the Knights. So they now have a runner in scoring position, just one out. Here's the 3-2 to Hahn. And that one's outside for ball 4. There's runners at first and second with just one out for Greenbrier. It's the second walk of the night for Lewis. And walks were a problem last night for Edenton. The Steamers walking a collective 11 batters in Tarboro last night. Lewis trying to work out of it with 2 men on, 1 out here in the 6th. That pitch is a called strike on the outer half. 0-1 the count. Dominic Proctor up to the plate. He's reached both times up for Greenbrier. Was hit by a pitch his first time up and singled in at bat number 2. It's Warren Bailey at second, Bert Hahn at first. That pitch is swung on and missed by Proctor. The count is now 0-2. Lewis trying to do his part to keep the Steamers within 3. So Steamers offense that can catch some fire, scoring 9 runs last night. Here's the 0-2 to Proctor. That one is skied out towards shallow right field. Sprinting in is Jackson Hipp, and ranging back to make the catch is Alden Cottle. Good communication there right at the end. Infield fly was called. And it's the second out here in the 6th. A big out for Cameron Lewis. That'll bring up Andy Choi, the designated hitter tonight for Greenbrier with 2 men on and 2 men out. Cameron Lewis trying to work through his first inning of relief. First pitch to Choi, swung on and missed, 0-1. Choi 0 for 2 tonight after going 0 for 1 last night against Virginia Beach. The 0-1 to Choi. Swing and a miss at pitch number 2. He's down in the count 0-2. Lewis in here for the 6th after Bryce Stevens went the first 5 for Edenton, allowed 4 runs, struck out 4. Lewis trying to get the Clams out of trouble. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on, hit high, and foul towards territory down the first base side. Abbott moving in, and he can't make the catch. He overran it. We saw a similar type play to that last night in Tarboro with Abbott overrunning a pop-up that was in the field. That landed in fair territory, and the River Bandits benefited from that one. We'll do it again. Count at 0-2 for Lewis. The pitch to Troy. Swung on and hit down the left field line. Hunter Cole gives it a look as it trends foul. It's Warren Bailey down at second, Bert Hahn at first. Both reached on a walk here in the 6th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. A bit high, 1-2 the count. Choi takes a step out towards the mound, a bit of a shake in the direction of Lewis. Count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on out in front of it. It's up and into the Steamers' dugout. And we'll do it again at 1-2. A nice at bat for Choi. He's fouled off 3 pitches. Choi, the 5th batter of this inning for the Knights. Stepping in with 2 on and 2 outs. The 1-2 from Lewis. Swung and fouled off again. The 4th foul ball of this at bat for Choi. He's making Lewis work out there on the mound in his first inning of relief. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up high for ball 2. Count moves to 2-2. Lewis takes a peek back at second. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, sent high out towards center field. Paulson moving back towards the wall, and he can't make the catch. 1 run is in. Coming around is Hahn. The throw to the plate from Bruno is in time for the out. Chase Bruno's able to stop one of the runs. But the Knights do bring one home to extend the lead back to 4. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. It's Greenbrier 5, Edenton 1. Is your kid a fan of the Clam? Why not sign him up for Steamers Kids Club, presented by Weatherly Insurance. Membership is free for kids ages 12 and under. They receive 4 free tickets, a club t-shirt, and a discount to baseball camp, and an invitation to an exclusive meet and greet event with the players. You can visit EdentonSteamers.com and download a registration form today. Welcome back to Historic Kicks Field here in the bottom half of the 6th. The Greenbrier Knights added another run back in the top of the 6th to re-extend the lead to 5-1. Jackson Hipp will lead things off for the Steamers here in the 6th as Joey Rodriguez out for his 6th inning of work for the Knights. First one to Hipp is swung on and missed for a strike, 0-1. Hipp came into tonight batting .308 with 4 hits. He's 0 for 2 so far today. The 0-1 to Hipp. Swung on, shot back towards the middle. Proctor over, and he dives to stop it, but there's no throw at first. An impressive stop from Dominic Proctor, but Jackson Hipp was already up the line, and he's aboard with a single as the leadoff man here in the 6th. Houston Wright up to the plate with Jackson Hipp over at first. Wright also 0 for 2 tonight. And now there's going to be a meeting out at the mound for the Knights. A long trot out there after the Steamers' 4th hit. And a conversation between the whole infield. Houston Wright up to the plate. We saw him start 0 for 2 last night, but eventually wound up driving in 3 runs for the Steamers. Wright catching some steam as these games go on, no pun intended. And he's got the leadoff man, Jackson Hipp, over at first. Wright batting cleanup, the designated hitter for the 5th time this season, as he has been in all the games for Edenton. He leaves that first pitch inside, 1-0 the count. The Clams no stranger to comebacks here at Historic Kicks Field. Came back to win games on Saturday and Sunday, trailing late in the game, but down by 4, one of the biggest deficits of the season for Edenton. That one is fouled down the third base side, now to play by Wright, 1-1 the count. And Wright and Hipp were at the center of those comebacks. In the game Sunday night against Virginia Beach, Wright had the game-tying hit before Hipp had the go-ahead double. So these guys have a knack for performing as the game gets a bit later. Here's the 1-1 to Wright. He's out in front and fouls it back again. 1-2 the count. Houston Wright, one of a few Clams with a hit through each game so far this season. Down in the count, 1-2. The Steamers in need of some offense. Rodriguez is set. Here's the 1-2. Wright leaves it outside, 2-2. Houston Wright's done just about everything right this season, but he's still without a home run. He had 14 back in 2020. He's hit a couple of balls right up against that right field fence so far at Historic Kicks Field. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Wright leaves that one outside. It gets away from Bailey, and Jackson Hipp's going to scamper over to second. The count is now full to Wright, and he's got a runner in scoring position with nobody out. A big opportunity here for Wright to try and get the run back that the Knights just scored in the top of the 6th. Wright down the first base side, bobbled initially by Bowen. He'll still have enough time to take it to the bag for the first out of the inning. as Hip moves over to third on the ground out. Tate Abbott will come to the plate with one out here in the sixth. The runner over at third and Hip. Abbott came into tonight leading the team in batting average, hitting .429 through 5 games. Abbott chops the first pitch he sees over to second. Handled nicely. Throw to first is inside, but Hip comes in to score, and the Steamers get one back. It's now 5-2 Greenbrier. It's the second run knocked in of the season for Tate Abbott. And now the bases are empty for Nate Paulson out in center field tonight for Edenton. Paulson grounds that one towards the middle. Proctor to his left. It's off his glove and into center field. And Nate Paulson now filling up first base with 2 down here in the sixth. It's the second ball that Proctor's got his glove on, unable to make the play. And now with Paulson over at first, it'll bring up Davis Halstead, who's batting now for Hunter Cole. But before we do that, we have a pitching change here at Historic Hicks Field. The Knights bringing in a second pitcher. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the news. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. The Steamers have gotten one back here in the sixth to cut the Knights' lead to 5-2. Nate Paulson aboard at first, and Davis Halstead for the first time tonight comes up to hit. Halstead 0 for 3 so far this season. Still looking for that first hit. That pitch is in the dirt. It gets away from Bailey. The count moves to 1-0. In to pitch now for the Knights is Henry Sura out of Bryan and Stratton College. Comes in relief of Joey Rodriguez, who went 5 2/3 innings, struck out 4. That pitch is fouled off by Halstead. Count evens up at 1-1. Steamers were able to get a pair of runs off Rodriguez and get him out of the game with a few innings to go. Davis Halstead, the first one facing Sura here in the 6th with a runner and Paulson over at first. The 1-1 pitch. Halstead, a slow roller over to short. Proctor moves in. His throw to first is high, and it's off the glove of Bowen. Halstead is safe. Moving over to third now is Paulson, and there's runners at the corners for the Clams. It's another error for Dominic Proctor. And it puts runners at the corners for Chris Morris with 2 outs in the 6th. A massive opportunity for Morris against Sura. That's the 4th error of the night for the Greenbrier Knights. Morris still without a hit tonight and without a hit in 5 at-bats this season. Here's the first pitch. Morris swings at it, fouls it down the first base side, and out of play. 0-1 the count. Paulson reached on an error. He made his way around to third, and Davis Halstead just reached on another error for the Knights, which pushed Paulson to third. Halstead standing at first. 0-1 the count to Chris Morris. And Sura will step off as both runners retreat back to their bases. The 0-1 to Morris. And that one's inside, a called strike. It's 0-2. Morris hit .233 this spring at Pitt Community College. Had 10 hits in the spring, trying to get one here for the Clams. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he struck out. The Clams strand 2 here in the 6th. They do get one back. The Greenbrier Knights lead 5-2 at historic Hicks Field. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field here as we begin the 7th inning between the Greenbrier Knights and the Edenton Steamers. The Steamers trailing 5-2. Each team scored a run in the 6th, but a 3-run Greenbrier 5th inning is what separates us now. The last inning wrapped up with an RBI double from Andy Choi, but Bert Hahn was trying to make it a 2-run double, and he was thrown out at the plate by Chase Bruno. Top of the order back up for the Knights, and it's Max Lucas sending that one high out towards right field. Hip ranging back towards the wall, and it's off the wall. Hip in to get it. He'll throw it all the way into second, and it's the second double of, or the first double of the night for Max Lucas. It's the second time Lucas has reached tonight. And the leadoff man is aboard once again for Greenbrier, and that'll bring Quincy Scipio to the plate, who had an RBI single his last time up. He'll float that one foul territory, first base side. Abbott towards the fence, and he dropped the ball. Abbott had the ball in his glove. It bounced in and out. And it's another life for Quincy Scipio. Leadoff man and Lucas doubled to start the inning, and now it's Scipio, who's already knocked in a run tonight with a big opportunity against Cameron Lewis. Down in the count 0-1. As Cameron was about to go into the pitch, time was called by Scipio. Scipio, a pair of hits tonight, had 11 multi-hit games this spring at Camp Community College. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Scipio. The count moves to 0-2. Lucas down there at second. And Scipio at the plate. Scipio went 0 for 2 last night in the loss to Virginia Beach. All red hit tonight, and he swings and misses a strikeout there for Lewis for the first out here in the 7th. Only the 4th strikeout of the night for Steamers pitching. They've been in double-digit strikeouts back-to-back games, 10 against Tarboro, 17 against Virginia Beach. That'll bring Luke Waters up to the plate with 1 out here in the 7th. Lewis's first pitch is inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Waters 0 for 3 tonight, a pair of ground outs and a strikeout. And here's the 1-0 pitch. In the dirt for a ball, 2-0 the count. The energy really taken out of Historic Hicks Field as the Knights have put a 5 spot on the board. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike, 2-1 the count. Lewis allowed both his first run and first hit of the season back in the 6th inning. This is his second appearance here with Edenton. Behind in the count, 2-1 to Waters. Here's the pitch as Lewis spins back to second, trying to keep Lucas honest. And we're set to do it again as Lucas, we saw back when he led the game off with a walk, had a healthy lead. He's got a solid lead over there at second. That one's outside. The count moves to 3-1. It was a great start for Steamers pitching this season, but over the last couple of nights, the opponents have really started to hit the clams. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one is in the dirt, ball 4. 2 men on now for the Knights. Already ahead, 5-2, threatening here in the 7th with just 1 out as Dylan Bowen comes to the plate. Bowen struck out twice and doubled tonight. And here's the first pitch from Lewis. That one's down low for a ball, 1-0. The Steamers pitching has given out 6 free passes tonight, 4 walks and 2 hit batters, after 11 walks last night in Tarboro. The 1-0 pitch. That one is skied high out in center field. Hip and Paulson both over there. Paulson's going to make the catch. Nearly overran it, and Lucas draws a throw back in. The second out here in the 7th. And that'll bring up Warren Bailey catching tonight for the Knights. Bailey put the first run of the game on the board for Greenbrier with a solo home run back in the 2nd inning. He walked his last time up. Now batting with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 7th. Lewis fakes a pickoff back to second. Lucas dives back in head first. Lewis, the first pitch to Bailey. Swung and fouled down the first base side, 0-1. Bailey's homered and walked. He hit .351 in 54 games at Bryan and Stratton College this spring. Trying to keep the line moving here for the Knights. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken, just missed on the inner side. 1-1 the count. Last night, Bailey also homered, and he struck out twice for the Knights. Here's the 1-1. That one's in the dirt. Nice scoop from Kermode. Now it's a 2-1 count. Bailey with all those numbers, home runs in back-to-back games, the exact guy the Knights would one up in this situation with 2 men on in the 7th. Already holding a 3-run lead. Here's the 2-1 to Bailey. It's a bit low, 3-1 the count. Three and 1 the count. It's Max Lucas out at second. He doubled. And Luke Waters at first, who reached on a walk. Here's the 3-1 from Lewis. Check swing. They're going to say he went. 3-2 the count. That pitch was a bit low. A big swing there from Bailey. 3-2 the count. 2 on, 2 outs. The runners will be off and running on the pitch. The Knights leading 5-2 in the 7th. Lewis trying to keep the deficit at 3. And we'll have to wait a bit longer for the 3-2 as Lewis takes a peek back at Lucas. We'll do it again. Full count. Runners will be off. Here's the pitch from Lewis. Fouled off by Bailey. A long battle here between Cameron Lewis and Warren Bailey. Bailey's fouled a few pitches off in the at-bat. Lewis trying to work through his 2nd inning in relief of Bryce Stevens, who went the first 5 tonight. That one is swung, hit back towards the middle over the glove of Chase Bruno to go into center. Paulson bobbles the ball, and coming home to score is Max Lucas. It's an RBI single for Warren Bailey, the 2nd run he's knocked in tonight, and the Knights take a 6-2 lead. It's the third straight inning that the Knights have put a run on the board, and that'll bring Andre Daltrey to the plate. He fouls that one straight back, 0-1. The Knights put up 3 runs in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and now 1 in the 7th, and still threatening with runners at first and second. It's 8 hits tonight for Greenbrier, compared to just 4 for Edenton. Here's the pitch from Lewis. In there for a called strike, 0-2. Lewis trying to limit the damage here and keep the Steamers' deficit at just 4. For the 3rd time tonight, they trailed 4-0, then 5-1, and now 6-2. The 0-2 pitch, a bit outside. 1-2 now the count. Daltrey 0 for 3 tonight. His best shot as a hit was thwarted by a diving Nate Paulson out in center field. Lewis is ready. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt again. Count moves to 2-2. Some good at bats here from Greenbrier in the 7th. Even when they're getting behind, they're forcing Lewis to make the perfect pitch. Down 0-2. Daltrey has worked it back even. The 2-2 pitch coming in from Lewis. Fouled. Daltrey barely got a piece of it, tipping it back to the backstop. Count remains at 2-2. It's Luke Waters down at second and Warren Bailey at first. Andre Daltrey at the plate, still looking for his first hit of the night. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Kermode, but the count now goes full. For the 2nd straight batter, a full count, 2 outs, 2 on here in the 7th. In this situation, Warren Bailey was able to single back through the middle. We'll see if Andre Daltrey has similar luck. The runners will be off. Here's the 3-2 pitch. In the dirt, bounced well before the plate, ball 4, and the bases are now loaded for Greenbrier. It's the 2nd walk here in the inning for Cameron Lewis. And Justin Hill's heading out to the mound. We're going to have a pitching change here at historic Hicks Field. The Greenbrier Knights lead 6-2. We'll be right back. The Steamers are excited to announce a newfound partnership with the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Albemarle. This season will mark our first annual jersey fundraiser for the organization. To coincide with our Chowan County Cantaloupes moniker, we will be wearing special themed jerseys on all home Tuesdays at historic Hicks Field. On our final home Tuesday on July 19th, we will be auctioning off the Cantaloupes jerseys. All the proceeds will go towards the summer programs that benefit the kids of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Albemarle. We would like to extend a huge thank you to RC Theater's Albemarle Movies 8 for their sponsorship and support of the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you for your support of a great cause. A pitching change here at historic Hicks Field as Jared Beebe comes in to pitch for the first time this season here at Edenton. He's played in the field a few times, gotten some at-bats, but it's his first time on the mound. Beebe comes in as a two-way player. He's only pitched one inning at Barton College this spring. He allowed a pair of hits and 2 runs. He comes in with the bases loaded and 2 outs, with the Knights ahead 6-2. Blake Herman pinch hitting for Bert Hahn now. And Beebe steps off before throwing his first pitch. And he'll have a conversation with Case Kermode out at the mound. Trying to clear up the signs, possibly. Beebe hoping he only has to face one batter here in Herman out of the University of Evansville. Herman played in 8 games, did not have a hit this spring. He went 0 for 1 last night. The first pitch from Beebe, fouled straight back. Beebe trying to work out of trouble and give the offense a shot while the game is still with reasonable distance. But what does that term mean right now? The River Bandits trailed Edenton by 7 last night and came back to win. And that was in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch from Beebe. That one's down low for a ball, 1-1. It's Luke Waters over at third, Warren Bailey at second, and Andre Daltrey at first. All reached against Cameron Lewis, and Beebe trying to dig out of the hole as that one's into the dirt for a ball. 2-1 the count. Don't want to get too far behind in the count with the bases loaded. We saw the Steamers walk in a couple of runs last night with the bases full against Tarboro, including the walk-off run for the River Bandits. Beebe set the 2-1. In there for a called strike, 2-2. Herman batting for Hahn, who reached base twice tonight with a hit by pitch, and he walked. Herman up with the bases full. The 2-2 pitch. Didn't offer at it. Down low, 3-2 the count. A big pitch coming here from Jared Beebe. The runners will all be off as the home plate umpire sweeping off home plate for one of the most important pitches of the inning. 2 down in the 7th. Beebe in his first appearance on the mound as a Steamer. Looking to pick up teammate Cameron Lewis. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. A big strikeout for Jared Beebe to wrap up the top of the 7th. But the Knights do bring one back. They extend the lead to 6-2. The Steamers will come up to the plate trailing by 4. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field on a warm Wednesday night here in Edenton, and the Clams still looking to warm up their bats, trailing 6-2 to the Greenbrier Knights. Henry Sura back out on the mound for Greenbrier. And Case Kermode will be leading things off for the Steamers. He's reached twice on a pair of errors. Kermode trying to get something going against Sura, who came in for Joey Rodriguez, who went the first 5 2/3 for the Knights. Kermode watches that first one come in for a strike, 0-1. The Clams sitting at 3-1 this season, coming off their first loss to Tarboro last night. The Knights at 0-1 in search of that first win. That pitch inside, 1-1 the count to Kermode. The Steamers 1-1 in PCL play, taking down Virginia Beach on Sunday night and falling to the River Bandits last night. While the Knights lost to the Sea Dogs last night, as there's a swing and a miss from Kermode. 1-2 the count. Kermode trying to set the table for the top half of the lineup as Jace Bruno's on deck. Here's the 1-2, and that one nearly got him. He spun out of the way, and the count evens up at 2-2. We thank you for joining us here on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel for this PCL matchup tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Kermode swings, just got a piece of it. It's dropped by Bailey. And Kermode earns himself another pitch, just barely got enough of it for Bailey to drop it. The leadoff man Kermode, 2-2 count against Sura. Here's the pitch. That one's low for ball 3. Down by 4. The Clams just got to get some runners aboard, and we've seen them make these comebacks at Historic Hicks Field before, coming back on Saturday and Sunday night from late inning deficits. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Kermode fights it off and fouls it straight back. Here's the pitch. Kermode swings and misses for strike 3. The first out here in the 7th. Back through the lineup for the 4th time for the Clams. It'll be Chase Bruno, who's led off in every game this season for Edenton. Had an RBI double off that fence out in left center field his last time up. A team high 8 hits for Chase Bruno this season. He swings at the first pitch he sees and misses. It's an 0-1 count. Bruno watches that one come across for a strike. The count moves to 0-2. Sura came into this game after Joey Rodriguez went 5 2/3. Sura struck out both batters he's faced so far. He's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Bruno. Here's the pitch. Bruno chops that one foul on the third base side. 0-2 remains the count. Bruno's second best batting average on the team coming into tonight, hitting .389, has a hit in every game so far for Edenton. The 0-2 pitch out in front again, sends it fouled on the third base side, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Bruno trying to get anything going for the Steamers with Alden Cottle on deck. The Steamers have mustered just 4 hits tonight against the Knights. The 0-2 pitch. Up high, Bruno laid off. Chase Bruno with his RBI tonight, tied for the team lead with 4 runs batted in. In this, the 5th game of the season. The 1-2 pitch. Bruno swings and misses. It was dropped by Bailey. Bruno's on his way to first, throws in time for out number 2. Two up, 2 down for the Steamers here in the 7th. That'll bring up Alden Cottle. Cottle 1 for 3 tonight. Had a double in his first at bat back in the first inning. That's the 3rd strikeout of the night for Henry Sura. As Cottle pops that one first base side near the Knights dugout and out of play, 0-1 the count. Sura struck out all 3 batters he's faced after Rodriguez struck out 4 in his start tonight. Cottle's played second base tonight for the Clams after playing there last night in Tarboro. Here's the 0-1. Fouled straight back, 0-2. Cottle had started a few games out at third base to begin the season and moved over to second, getting Jared Beebe and now tonight Chris Morris some time over there at third. Cottle's been a staple near the top of this lineup through the opening part of this season, and he calls for time there. Sura back on the bump, ahead in the count, 0-2. From the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. It's the 4th strikeout for Sura. And we head to the 8th. It's the Knights still ahead, 6-2. Who's ready to rock? The first annual Clam Jam is coming up on Saturday, September 24th. We'll welcome 3 awesome bands to jam out at historic Hicks Field. Starting at 4 p.m. that afternoon, PV&J will take the stage, followed by the Eric Dunlow Band at 6, and the headlining Daniel Jordan Band at 8 p.m. Advance tickets are available at EdentonSteamers.com for $15 or can be purchased at the gate that night for $20. Bring your lawn chair and take the field for the rockin' event. Numerous food and beverage options will be available all night. We hope to see you there. Welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers trail by 4 here in the top half of the 8th. Jared Beebe back on the mound for the Clams after coming in to finish off the 7th inning. And he's got a first pitch strike to Dominic Proctor leading off for the Knights. That second one is looped in there and slapped foul by Proctor. 0-2 the count. Another change for the Steamers. Tanner Thatch enters over at first for Tate Abbott. Thatch got his first at bat of the season last night. Was hit by a pitch at Tarboro. Here's the 0-2 from Beebe. That one is fouled off the foot of Proctor. And we'll do the 0-2 pitch again. Jared Beebe only pitched one inning at Barton College this spring, but comes in touted as a two-way player in his first appearance on the mound of the season for Edenton. Got a big strikeout in relief of Cameron Lewis to stop a bases loaded jam in the 7th. That one's a bit outside. Count moves to 1-2. The Steamers still in search of anything on offense, but in order to make the comeback, they've got to keep the deficit at 4. That pitch up high. And Proctor's worked it back to 2-2. We've seen the Knights have plenty of at-bats like this tonight where they go down in the count early and work back to even it up. Here's the 2-2 from Beebe. Out in front, Proctor pops it up out towards right field. Hip ranges in, and he'll make the catch for the first out here in the 8th. That'll bring Andy Choi up to the plate. Choi had an RBI double his last time up, pounded it off the left field wall. The Knights got a bit gutsy, tried to send a second runner home, but he was gunned down at the plate by Chase Bruno. First pitch into Choi is up and away, and the count is 1-0. Choi, one of 3 extra base hits tonight for Greenbriers. That one floats in there for a called strike, 1-1. Beebe's retired. The first 2 batters he's faced in relief of Cameron Lewis. Beebe out there as the 3rd pitcher used by head coach Justin Hill tonight. Counts 1-1 to Choi. Here's the pitch. That one a bit high. 2-1 the count. The Steamers used 5 pitchers one night ago in Tarboro. Justin Hill trying to work through tonight with the fewest amount he can. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 2 now to Choi. This is the second of 5 straight days with a game for the Steamers. Certainly don't want to run anybody too hard into the ground, especially at the beginning of that 5-day stretch. Tyrus Bumgarner and Jacob Lawler both pitched last night, available tonight if needed. And there's a swing and a caught strikeout. Choi foul tipped it. Case Kermode held on. It's the second strikeout for Beebe. And there's 2 down here in the 8th. Back through the lineup for the 5th time for Greenbrier. Max Lucas will come to the plate. First pitch is up high for a ball to Lucas. Lucas doubled his last time up. He's also knocked a run in tonight with an RBI ground out. He's ahead in the count 0-1. 1-0, and Beebe steps off again. Jared Beebe, just one of 2 pitchers that was remaining for the Steamers that had not made their debut yet, as that one's in the dirt for a ball, 2-0. Travis Hamrick, the only other pitcher now for the Steamers yet to make an appearance. Jared Beebe behind, 2-0. There's the pitch. It's in the dirt again. 3-0 the count. Beebe in danger of allowing his first runner to reach. Here's the Knights are back at the top of their order. It's the leadoff man, Max Lucas. The 3-0 pitch. Inside, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk there for Lucas, his second walk of the night. And that'll bring up Quincy Scipio for his 5th at-bat. Scipio singled twice tonight and driven in a run, but he struck out in his last at-bat. Beebe now working from the stretch with a runner over at first. Here's the first pitch to Scipio. It's fouled straight back, 0-1. Scipio 2 for 4 tonight, hit .266 at Camp Community College. He went 0 for 2 last night, so a rebound night for Scipio. The runner is off, and that one is floated out down the right side. Hip ranging over, and it's off his glove. He can't make the catch. Coming around third is Lucas. He's going to come home and score. Into second is Scipio. And it's the 7th run for the Knights. Greenbrier leads 7-2 here in the 8th. It was a long run for Hip. He got his glove on it, unable to bring it in. It'll go down as the 4th error of the night for Edenton. And the 4th consecutive inning with a run scored for Greenbrier. And that one's in the dirt, gets away from Kermode. Scipio moves to third safely. The Knights trying to pound on some insurance runs for Henry Sura out on the mound. Already ahead, 7-2, threatening with a runner over at third. The pitch. And that one's called a ball just a bit outside. 2-0 the count. Luke Waters up to the plate without a hit tonight, but he did walk his last time up. Beebe behind in the count, 2-0. Here's the pitch. Up high, 3-0 the count. No action down in the Steamers bullpen. Hoping that Jared Beebe can work through this inning. That one is swung on and missed with a 3-0 count. And now moves to 3-1. Waters hit .429 this spring at Old Dominion and had a hit last night. He sends that one over to Bruno, straddled and taken on one hop. Throw to first is in time. A nice play by Chase Bruno to wrap up the top of the 8th. But for the 4th consecutive inning, the Knights put a run on the board. They extend the lead. It's 7-2 Greenbrier as we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field for this broadcast of Edenton Steamers baseball on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel. Thank you to those who have stuck with us tonight. It's the Greenbrier Knights with a 7-2 lead. It's been all Greenbrier all night, especially as of late. They've scored the last 4 innings and lead by 5. Jackson Hipp, who's had some 8th inning magic here at Historic Hicks Field through the first 2 home games, will lead us off here in the bottom of the 8th. He leaves that first pitch down low, ahead in the count 1-0. Hipp 1 for 3 tonight. He singled in his last at bat. That one is popped up back behind the plate near the Steamers dugout, and Bailey not able to hold on. Bailey sprinting towards the Steamers dugout with his mask still on. Had it bounce off of his glove, and Hipp maybe with an extra life here with the count even 1-1. It'll be Jackson Hipp, Houston Wright, and Tanner Thatch. First 3 up for the Steamers here in the 8th. Sura's pitch is fouled straight back by Hipp. The count moves to 1-2. Hipp came into tonight one of 2 Steamers with 4 runs batted in. But now it's just about getting on base, trailing by 5, behind in the count 1-2. Here's the pitch. Popped up and foul out of play. Count remains 1-2. In the last 2 8th innings here at Historic Hicks Field, Jackson Hipp had the go-ahead hits for the Steamers that eventually led to 2 wins here at home. Big part of why the Steamers got out to a 3-0 start. Here's the 1-2 to Hipp. Swung and hit back towards the middle. That's going to drop in for a base hit. The second hit of the night for Jackson Hipp, and he's aboard to lead off the 8th. Exactly what the doctor ordered, trailing by 5, and head coach Justin Hill is trying to work for every run he can. Tyler West comes into the game to run for Hipp over at first. It's Houston Wright up to the plate, 0 for 3 tonight. He's had a hit in every game this season. Sura now from the stretch with a runner at first. That one's in the dirt, 1-0. Tyler West stole 10 bases at Chowan University this spring. Not that he'd put himself in danger right now, but he does have some speed on the base paths. The 1-0 to Wright. Swings and sends that one high and deep to right field. Back on the track and making the catch is Herman. Another long fly out for Houston Wright. We saw one of those Sunday night where Houston Wright flew out, hitting it all the way out to the fence in right field. And that'll bring up Tanner Thatch for the first time tonight, coming in relief of Tate Abbott over at first. Thatch chops that one over the head of the first baseman, Bowen, and into right field for a base hit. West going from first to third. He'll hang there. And there's now runners at the corners and 1 out. It's Tanner Thatch's first hit of the season in his second at bat for the Steamers. Steamers starting to put something together here against Henry Sura. That'll bring Nate Paulson up to the plate. Paulson 1 for 3 tonight, singled in his first at bat, reached on an error in his last at bat. It's Tyler West over at third. Came in to run for Jackson Hipp, who singled to lead off the inning. Tanner Thatch over at first with a single. Paulson nearly offers at the first pitch he sees. They say he didn't go. 1-0 the count. Can the Steamers bring together a little more eighth inning magic? Came into this one trailing 7-2. The 1-0 to Paulson. That's in the dirt, 2-0. Waiting on deck is Davis Halstead, who came in for Hunter Cole. The 2-0 to Paulson in the dirt, 3-0 the count. Have to imagine that Paulson will be taking here to see if Sura can throw a strike. A pair of hits here in the 8th for Edenton. Runners on the corners, trailing by 5. The 3-0 to Paulson. Up high, ball 4. The bases are loaded. Just about as good of a start as you could ask for the Steamers here in the 8th. There's going to be a long meeting out at the mound. Bailey will take a slow trot out to talk to Henry Sura. Came into this game in relief of Joey Rodriguez, who went 5 2/3, allowed just 2 runs. Struck out 4. It was a great start tonight for Rodriguez. And up until this point, Sura has been just as solid, hasn't allowed a run. But now the bases are loaded for Davis Halstead. Halstead just graduated John A. Holmes High School, finished up his spring season there where he hit .453, had 34 hits in 25 games. Halstead still looking for his first hit as a Steamer. This would be a great time for from the windup. Here's the first pitch from Sura, and it's on the outside half for a called strike, 0-1 to Halstead. Bowen at first and Jaltry at third, even with the bags. Proctor at short and Lucas at second in double play position. That one's in the dirt. Nearly gets away from Bailey. West will hold at third. Count evens up 1-1. A big moment here for Halstead, who knocked in 28 runs in his 25 games this spring. He fouls that one straight back. Count moves to 1-2. It's Tyler West over at third, Tanner Thatch at second, and Nate Paulson at first. The 1-2 pitch. And a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Halstead goes down looking for the second out here in the 8th. And that'll bring up Chris Morris with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th. Edenton in need of a big hit. Morris also looking for his first hit of the summer. He'll offer at the first pitch he sees into foul territory on the first pitch side. How to go out of play. Oh, 1-1 the count to Morris, who knocked in 14 runs in 29 games this spring at Pitt Community College. Has a chance here with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 8th. The 0-1 to Morris. That one's in the dirt. Wow, and it caught the foot of the home plate umpire on a ball that looked like it was destined to go to the backstop. Instead, West forced a hold over at third. The count's even, 1-1 to Morris. Here's the pitch. That one across for a called strike, 1-2. A couple of called strikes on the outer half. Puts the count at 1-2 to Morris. 2 outs here in the 8th. Bases loaded and time is called. Henry Sura trying to work in and out of trouble. He's yet to allow a run. But a pair of hits in the inning and a walk have loaded the bases. Here's the pitch to Morris, and he fouls it straight back. We'll do it again at 1-2. Morris, a two-way guy for the Steamers this summer. We've seen him pitch a couple of times. This is only the second game that he has batted in. And Sura steps off again. Once again, it's Tyler Westover at third, running for Jackson Hitt. Tanner Thatch at second, and Nate Paulson at first. Some speed on the base paths for the Steamers if Morris can put one in play. Trailing by 5, 2 outs in the 8th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A called strike 3 to Morris. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sura to end the inning. The Steamers leave them loaded. We head to the 9th. It's the Knights 7 and the Steamers 2. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field for this broadcast of Steamers Baseball on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're still with us here in the 9th inning, you just saw the Steamers leave them loaded as the Knights lead 7-2 as we are set to begin the 9th. Another pitching change for head coach Justin Hill and the Steamers. Travis Hamrick making his season debut for the Clams. The 4th pitcher used tonight by Edenton. Bryce Stevens started the game, went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs. Cameron Lewis came in relief of him, went 1 2/3. Another pair of runs came across. Jared Beebe came into the game, went 1 1/3, allowed 1 run. And now Travis Hamrick out here for the 9th inning. The 4th pitcher used tonight, the 9th pitcher used over the last 2 days for Edenton, after using 5 pitchers in Tarboro last night. Dylan Bowen up to the plate now. 1 for 4 on the day. The first pitch from Hamrick is inside for a ball, 1-0. Bowen struck out twice tonight. He's also doubled. And that second pitch is fouled off, evens up the count at 1-1. Dylan Bowen without a hit last night. Only played 6 games this spring at VMI. As that one's outside in the dirt from Hamrick, count moves to 2-1. Travis Hamrick hasn't pitched in the spring in a couple of years. A top pitching recruit out of high school, committed to North Carolina. An injury Didn't allow him to pitch there as that one is sent high in the air to left field. Getting under it and making the catches, Halstead for the first out here in the 9th. Hammer committed to UNC, got injured, so he transferred over to Catawba Valley. He redshirted this spring and will look to begin the first couple of outings of his collegiate career at Catawba Valley next spring. He's in here for the first time in Edenton. All right, now he'll face Warren Bailey, who's had a pretty solid night, had a home run in his first at-bat, an RBI single in his last at-bat. 2 for 3 tonight is Bailey. Here's the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Jared Beebe and Travis Hamrick, who got some action tonight, now makes every steamer that's available as a pitcher has taken the mound as that one's a bit outside. 2-1 the count. One of the last pitchers that didn't pitch last night that was available for today is Hamrick. The 2-1 pitch hit high out towards center field. Paulson moves to his left. He's under it and he'll make the catch for the second out here in the 9th. A pair of flyouts brings Andre Daltrey to the plate. With 2 down here in the 9th, Daltrey still in search of his first hit. Daltrey walked his last time up. He's 0 for 3 otherwise. Here's the first pitch from Hamrick in there for a strike, 0-1. Hamrick looking to be the only steamer pitcher tonight that hasn't allowed a run. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Just missed on the inside half. 1-1 the count. A swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. It count moves to 1-2. Hamrick 1 strike away from working through this 9th inning. Case Kermode all the way out there to hand the ball off to Hamrick. They have a quick conversation, trying to get on the same page as Kermode will trot on back home. The Knights have scored in the last 4 innings. Hamrick trying to shut them down in the 9th. That one is fought off into right field for a base hit. Daltrey's first hit of the night keeps the line moving for the Knights, and that'll bring Blake Herman up to the plate. It's the 9th hit of the game for the Knights as Herman chops one through the hole on the left side into left field for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Knights, puts 2 on with 2 outs here in the 9th. That'll bring Dominic Proctor up to the plate. 1 for 3 today. He was also hit by a pitch back in his first at bat. Travis Hamrick in for the first time as a steamer. Got the first 2 outs. 2 straight singles with 2 outs. Now leaves 2 runners on as the first pitch is high. It's 1-0 to Proctor. Hamrick is set from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Proctor sends that one out towards left center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Paulson's over to get it. His throw comes into shortstop to Bruno, and 1 run comes home. The Knights add on to the lead as Daltrey comes around to score. It's the third straight two-out single here in the ninth. And the Knights extend the lead. It's 8-2 Greenbrier. That is the fifth consecutive inning that the Knights have scored in tonight. Andy Choi, the designated hitter, up to the plate. Behind in the count now, 0-1. It's been a tough stretch for Steamers pitching, allowing 10 runs last night in Tarboro and 8 here tonight against Greenbrier. They say that Choi went around on that swing. He's down in the count, 0-2. Choi's 1 for 4 today with an RBI double, but he struck out in his last at bat. Down in the count, 0-2. Here's the pitch from Hamrick. That one is fouled off. The runners were going. And we'll do it again at 0-2. It's Blake Herman down at second, Dominic Proctor at first. They had 2 of 3 singles here with 2 outs in the ninth for Greenbrier. Hamrick's ready. The 0-2 to Choi. Fouled on the third base side. We'll do it again at 0-2. "11 hits tonight for Greenbrier. They've scored in 5 consecutive innings. 4 errors for each side. The Clams have 6 hits and 2 runs. Here's the 0-2 from Hamrick. Fouled straight back again. We'll do it again at 0-2. Hamrick, as mentioned, redshirted this spring over at Catawba Valley, playing under former Steamers head coach Marshall McDonald. And here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt. A nice scoop from Kermode, and he thought he had the runner hung up at second. A late throw, and Herman able to get back in safely. The count now 1-2 to Choi. Here's the pitch. Swing, foul tip, caught by Kermode. The first strikeout for Travis Hamrick wraps up the top of the ninth. We head to the bottom of the ninth. The Steamers one last chance, trailing 8-2. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where it's been a tough night for the Steamers. It has been all Greenbrier ahead 8-2. The Knights have scored in 5 consecutive innings. They've only worked with 2 pitchers. Joey Rodriguez started this game and went 5 2/3 before he was relieved by Henry Sura, who's out here again for the ninth, trying to take the Knights the rest of the way, leading by 6. The Clams loaded up the bases with just 1 out in the 8th. They came away with no runs in their biggest opportunity to work back into this one. Case Kermode up to the plate. The first batter here in the ninth. He's 0 for 3 today. It'll go Kermode, then back to the top of the lineup. First pitch to Kermode is in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Well, the Steamers were ahead by 7 runs last night, 9-2, before the River Bandits came back and won that game as Kermode pops this pitch up in the infield. The Knights not sure who's going to catch it, and it falls. Sura was looking around waiting for any infielder to come and make the play. By the time he finally looked up, the ball landed softly into the grass. The leadoff man is aboard for the Clams. You never know. That could be the break Edenton needed. That's how it's got to start. And Chase Bruno will come up to the plate. Bruno takes the first pitch inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Bruno 1 for 4 today, had an RBI double. And he sends that one back towards the middle, off the glove of the second baseman Lucas into center field. Kermode moves to second, Bruno into first with his second hit. 2 men on, nobody out for the Clams. Trying to put something together here in the ninth. Alden Cottle will come to the plate. Cottle 1 for 4 tonight as well. Had a double in his first at bat. The first 2 batters aboard for Edenton here in the ninth, trailing by 6. Alden Cottle trying to keep the line moving. He'll watch that first pitch go low. 1-0 the count. Tyler Westu up on deck, came on to run for Jackson Hipp in the last inning. As Cottle lets that one go by high, 2-0 the count. Last 2 innings, the Steamers have finally put some runners on base. They loaded it up in the 8th, couldn't score, and they've got the first 2 batters aboard here in the 9th. The 2-0 to Cottle. He'll watch that one go low into the dirt. 3-0 the count. Last inning, Sura gave up a pair of singles and a walk, trying to avoid the Steamers loading up the bases for the 2nd straight inning. Cottle ahead 3-0. Here's the pitch. That one's across for a strike. 3-1. Alden Cottle's driven in 3 runs this season, has an opportunity here with 2 aboard. That pitch, a swing and a miss from Cottle on a pitch that was a bit low. The count moves to 3-2. It's Kermode over at second. Reached on a pop-up to the infield that was misplayed, and it's Bruno at first who singled. The 3-2 pitch. Cottle sends it back towards the middle, and it's caught out of the air by Lucas. A leaping catch right behind second base on a softly hit ball, and it's the first out here in the 9th. That'll bring Tyler West to the plate. As mentioned, he came in to pinched run for Jackson Hipp, and now it's his first at bat of the night. West without a hit in 6 at bats so far for the Steamers. And he's up with 2 men on here in the 9th. He watches that first pitch outside. 1-0. West hit .333 this spring at Chowan University. Looking to bump that same average up here in Edenton. In game number 5, the Clams sitting at 3-1, the Knights at 0-1. Here's Sura's 1-0. West watches that one in the dirt. 2-0 count. We saw Alden Cottle get ahead 3-0 against Sura, who's struggling to throw strikes here, but got a tough out down the middle from Cottle, and now it's West, who may be waiting for Sura to throw a strike. A long conversation out there between Bailey and Sura. Sura came in the 6th inning in relief of Joey Rodriguez. He's trying to take the Knights the rest of the way. Home plate umpire out there to seemingly end this conversation, but he must be interested in what's being said. He stood out there for about 15 seconds to watch the conversation. It's a 2-0 count to Tyler West here in the 9th with the Steamers down by 6, 2 runners aboard. It's Kermode at second and Chase Bruno at first. Here's the pitch to West. That one's across for a called strike, 2-1. Sura back on the rubber quickly from the stretch. The 2-1. A bit low. 3-1 the count to West. The Steamers trying to load the bases up for the 2nd straight inning. Here's the 3-1. West sends that one out towards right center field, and it's not going to get out there. It's caught by Lucas on the outfield grass for the 2nd out here in the 9th. Up to the plate walks Brantley Cutler. Cutler batting for Houston Wright in the designated hitter spot here in the 9th. With runners at first and second, the Steamers down to their final out, in danger of dropping their first game at historic Hicks Field. Sura's first pitch, Cutler takes it for a called strike, 0-1. Brantley Cutler over 7 to start the summer, still looking for his first hit of the year. A long look in from Sura. Cutler's ready. The 0-1 pitch. Cutler swings and misses. It's 0-2. The Steamers down to their last strike. Cutler hit .262 in 53 games at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Like West, trying to bring that average here to Edenton. Looking for hit number 1. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt for a ball, 1-2. Cutler started last night against Tarboro, the team he had played for a bit back in 2021 before switching over to Edenton. And Sura will step off. Looks like he was about to go from the windup with 2 runners on. Now he switches to the stretch. The 1-2 to Cutler. Up high for a ball, 2-2. Waiting on deck if he gets the chance is Tanner Thatch. Earned his first hit as a Steamer in his last at bat. But right now it's Cutler at the plate. 2 on, 2 outs, 2-2 count here in the 9th. Here's the pitch. A bit low, 3-2. Cutler trying to keep the game alive for Edenton. down to their final strike. Kermode and Bruno will be off and running on the pitch. Sura trying to close it out for the Knights. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the Greenbrier Knights come into historic Hicks Field and win convincingly, an 8-2 win for the Knights. The Steamers drop their first game here at historic Hicks Field to move to 2-1 at home and 3-2 overall. The Steamers fall to 1-2 in PCL play. It's the first win in Premier Collegiate League play for the Knights after falling last night to Virginia Beach. They're now 1-1 in PCL play. The Steamers will be back in action here tomorrow night at historic Hicks Field. As that wraps us up here tonight, a final score, Greenbrier 8, Edenton 2. We'll see you tomorrow night.